they instantly go Lifestealer Disruptor after. Then you get Slardard. Slardard naturally lanes very well against these Lifestealer Juggernaut type heroes. So you already have a good laning matchup for VP. And then they also now go for the Wyvern as well. So you've now got this double sustain, super like hard lineup to ever jump into. And Cyber Legacy's whole premise of their draft right now is we're going to blow up one guy. We're going to have Lifestealer kill, like jump someone, or Mars can jump someone. And you have this big double save on the support duo. Cyber Legacy might feel pressured to maybe go for like an AA pick, but then you're going to have to try and incorporate an AA into your draft. Maybe put your Disruptor 4, an AA 5. And I think VP right now, they're the ones very much in control of this draft. So
yep, again, does feel like they're laying down the law a little bit here, and with second pick, it's well, a first pick, sorry, but second pick in the second phase. It's not really what. Well, I guess it's what you should be doing, isn't it? Because Cyber Legacy have the 10th pick. Let's see if they can find their gotcha pick. One thing you always have to be cautious of with Cyber Legacy is, of course, that Pikachu Meepo coming out is always a threat.
Yeah, so I think this Wyvern pick, though, it does cover you from quite a lot of the cheese in terms of it covers you from the Brood, it covers you from the Meepo in a very light way, where if the Brood doesn't go Piped or Crimson type of build, then you can always kill the Brood, but most Brood players nowadays can just play off of the fact that they don't always have to be with the Spiders, and then Meepo, you always kill him with Wyvern, so just find the right one, unless you get the wrong one, and then the main Meepo is out of it and can E-Blade himself. But there you go. There's the AA pick that I think Cyber Legacy are forced into. Very much, like VP have dominated this draft right now. I think that AA pick was so forced that VP were like, okay, they're going to go AA because we've got these double supports. And now this TB pick. Lifestealer hates playing against TB. Mars, I think, can obviously plays a lot of pressure in lane, but TB naturally wants to go jungle anyway. So he's just going to have a bigger excuse like, hey guys, I'm in the jungle. Sorry, bye. And then they have no rotational power. Disruptor A, these heroes can't invade the jungle. They can't be a menace and disrupt this farm. So we're going to see pretty much a free farm TB in terms of once he gets away from the pressure of the laning phase, 5-6 minutes, and goes jungle, he will then free farm. And now Cyber Legacy, they're forced into a position where their mid hero has to be so active. Examples being Quap or Lina, where they can push out their lane, play mid, and then provide some forward tempo into the jungle to apply pressure.
Yeah, also God's Rebuke is going to do nothing to Terrorblade as well. And generally, when you're looking at magic nukes, every time Terrorblade is picked, I'm always just like, all right, what magic nukes do they have to get through this ridiculously high armor? And you're looking at Spear, Thunderstrike, Infest Bomb. These aren't really spells you can use to nuke people down. They're going to go for the Pangolier as their final pick here on Virtus.pro, and I like this a lot.
So basically, the way that this last phase is planned out, Cyber Legacy banned out Kunkka, which instigates the idea of, okay, so maybe they go for a Broodmother, maybe they do this, and then we'll try and get them to ban out one of these heroes. VP is insta-ban OD because it's a very good OD game, and pick Pangolier. Pangolier covers them from Meepo, from Broodmother. The main issue I think right now that they might have is Huskar. If Cyber Legacy can run a Huskar in their draft, then even though Pango can be annoying in terms of that control when you push objectives, I think laning phase Huskar should have a good time, and you might be able to play off it enough to get you in putting quite a lot of pressure into VP. I think the main issue though is you have the Slardar still covering you, where Huskar doesn't like playing against a lot of armor. Oh, Storm instead. Okay, no. This is less kind of meme than I was suggesting.
Yeah,
so, the Storm Spirit, laning phase will have a free lane. You'll always be able to farm jungle. And the main thing is, I spoke about this, about the rotational impact of sports. You don't have it. The way that you fix that is having this active mid, so like the Quap or the Lina. But the best version of all of that is having a Storm Spirit, so now you have a bomb for your Lifestealer. You can always find the TB on the backline, or even better than that, because of course you can't really jump the TB because obviously an Oracle and one behind him. You use the Storm to jump these two supports that are always going to want to be at the back. So this Storm pick is probably one of the best mids they could have picked up.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I like this a lot as well. It gives you some magic to get through the TB, which is what I was wanting, and some damage to get through the Cold Embrace as well. It's not something which can get caught out super easily. There's not many stuns inside of Virtus.pro. We've got the Rolling Thunder, we've got the Stomp from Slardar, but these aren't spells which can easily catch a Storm Spirit. These are spells which can catch other heroes, but Storm is a little bit too mobile, can often play around this. So yeah, I think a lot of weight is going to be on Pikachu's shoulders, can kind of control up this game, but you've also got the Infest Bomb potential as well. I think it gives their draft like a really nice kind of round out here, and actually this is a pick. This makes things feel a little bit more even. It gives them potential. I'm excited to see this game now. I was like, oh boy, another 25 minutes. Here we go.
Yeah, VP had a firm grasp, but I think if we were to predict the way that the lanes will go, it's one of those things where who can group up first? It's VP. Who can take those earlier fights? It's VP. Who can play off pickoffs and play off of their bigger spells? It's going to be Cyber Legacy. So it's, can Cyber Legacy take the more explosive fights in the right locations to prevent the TB being able to like push through those early towers? Because Lifestealer doesn't really want to play Dota until like two and a half items. Storm Spirit doesn't want to play Dota until maybe a Bloodstone pickup. So you've got quite a lot of items required for Cyber Legacy to play. On the other hand, you've got Virtus.pro, where as long as their TB has a good start to the game, gets that 10-12 minute mark, you can very easily turn that into an objective, a tier 1 tower, or if you get that early DD rune, move straight into Roshan because you have the Slardar. So I think it's critical. The 10 to 15 minute mark, can Cyber Legacy make the first moves to prevent VP freely moving around the map from objective to objective?
Yeah, that's the question. And I don't think either team are particularly on timing. Obviously Terrorblade is going to be the scariest hero in the game when you get to the late game, but you kind of got to balance that with the fact they've got a Pangolier who it's not as scary as the Storm Spirit plus Lifestealer put together. So it's going to be a very farm balanced game and a very control balanced game as well. I think it's going to be interesting. I think every matchup now counts. You want Resolution to have just as good a time, if not better, than Chappie. If either of these offlaners get ahead, then I think we'll see that team kind of having the advantage, because these are your frontliners. These are the heroes which are going to make stuff happen. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on Chappie and Resolution and how these guys do in this game as we get set up in the bottom lane. Cyber Legacy, Bignum, Happy and Chappie. Happy and Chappie, that's a nice little duo there. They set up the bounty runers, Solo and Kuman. We'll likely just watch. There's no chance of going for a steal against this many stuns and disables.
Okay, quick prediction. Odds on Solo running in to get this bounty rune could get debated by only seeing one hero. Go quick.
Oh no, he's not going to do it. Yeah, he sees the other two. Oh, he's tempted though, wasn't he? He's like, oh, I could.
Give it to me. Oh. I had those vibes, the solo vibes, which are just, I'm going for this. My team needs a god, I don't.
Yeah, a man with zero sense of self-preservation. Puts just about everything else above his own life.
It is refreshing to see, though, two lineups that have discrepancies in power spikes in the first, 15 to 20 minutes of the game. And then it drawing even going into mid to late game. So often we see drafts that are like the opposite, which is, we get to the mid game and we near the late game and the game's over, It's so nice to see a like this lineup from both teams.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely refreshing. In the Parimatch League, we've had quite a few outdrafts, but yeah, I mean, hopefully the lanes go as we're expecting. There's always a case that there's a possibility for one team just crush the laning phase, and then we don't get to see any of the matchups anyway because one team's just so far ahead. So Kuman starting out in the bottom, just popping off this Metamorphosis. No big surprise here. He just wants to hit his level 3 as quickly as possible. Maybe a level 4 if he's feeling up. Bignum, careful. That's a big scary Terrorblade. You don't want to get too close. Don't poke the beast, Bignum. He's forced to pop a salve early here. But yeah, once this runs out, as it has now done, it becomes a little bit scary because, of course, he's going to be in range for God's Rebuke and Chappie's bullying abilities and Bignum to get off for easy Thunderstrike without having to sacrifice most of his health pool for it. So, yeah, that's the nice start gone for Virtus.pro, and he's managed to get himself 4 CS with that. We'll see if he's able to keep it going. But the lane's pushing in, which is really good for them as well. And Solo even getting the range creep there is very nice for him. So
one that deny as well. Very nice.
Yeah, he's doing good. Doing very good, Solo.
Flames to get the deny. Into right click, of course, not just the flames itself. That won't get you the deny. But yeah, this lane is now, like you said, it gets very difficult. You're not really going to have too much presence because The Disruptor uses Kuro, Bra, and additional Mango. He's going to always have mana to throw out the spam. You don't have a lot of regen really in this lane. Just two tangos on TB, Salve on solo. So I think you got 2 to 3 more minutes of this lane, and then TB's going to see you and peace out to the jungle most likely.
Certainly will do. That's what we're expecting. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Pikachu starting off strong, 13-3 to the 11-0 of no one, so getting a bit of revenge for last lane, but still much more even than that one has been, as Pikachu gets control. Yeah, it feels pretty good for him. Go ahead.
This mid lane matchup's all about the first rune pretty much. It's like if the Pango can get maybe like a DD or
Wyvern getting low at top. Zayat is going to be your first blood here as Plantamos and Happy were able to bring him down with the cold feet, with the chilling touch. That level 2 combination from Cyber Legacy is a huge threat with the open wounds and the cold feet. And unfortunately, Zayat's found that one out the hard way. Resolution unable to do much to save him. Especially this sprint Bash of the Deep build. We've seen some of this before, but it's still interesting to see it every time.
It's just so you can try and connect onto the support. But yeah, the A does so much damage if you have that enabling core to proc the cold feet. So open wounds plus cold feet, great combo. But you know, going back to this mid lane, it's all about who gets the first rune and the use of the bottle charges. So as you can see here, both of them picking up their bottle. You're going to see 40 seconds in, they're going to try and push out the lane and then secure that rune.
The battle of the pushes, but yeah, Pikachu very much in control still. Well, Pangolier is ahead on CS, but that's because there's a wave coming in for Pikachu right now, so...
Which is ideal, because you're going to be playing as a tower, and no one's going to be able to push out this wave. Oh, okay, the Fortify.
That's very nice. Meanwhile, up at top, Happy is actually going to be going down here. Zayats and Resolution able to find their revenge.
He gets to chase him, he gets to slap him.
Yeah, 1-1-1.
The bash change wasn't really enough, and look, there you go, no one now going to bot rune. Oh, RNG not on your side. Pikachu gifted the haste rune.
Oh,
don't you hate to play mid, honestly?
Not a bad one.
You just hate to play mid, though, right? Like, you go bottom, it's top.
This could be a big rotation. Zayat, he's got a speeding Storm heading towards him right now, but he's actually looking towards Resolution instead. Wants the beefier target, wants some cotton chips tonight, and he's certainly going to get it. Resolution goes down in the top lane. Nice cheeky rotation from Pikachu, and Zayat can but watch him TP himself away as he comes straight back into the mid and not even missing any creeps as the creep wave is pushing in. Mwah, that is some lovely stuff right there for Pikachu. A series of very fortunate events.
Yeah, that was a really nice move and very unfortunate again. That was literally the 50-50. That was what dictated that kill top. RNG decided all of this.
Yeah, and bottom lane was pushed in just as fast, so easily could have gone the other way if the Pangolier had the haste rune at bottom and ran down here, could have found himself something, you know.
Yeah, maybe so, yeah.
Truly is a 50-50, but you know, got to have some RNG in a game, I guess.
Yeah. Only like 1 or 2 sources at a neutral item. Now we've gone past that meme. They're fine.
Yeah, people made such a big deal out of neutral items, I swear.
Yeah, it had its screen time for sure. I think overall, initially it was kind of like a yikes, but it's now at a very healthy state, I believe. Yeah, like, you can't really fault the current system, that's for sure.
There was always people being like, oh, if you get... What's that?
If one team gets an Apex and the other team gets...
Oh yeah, people complaining about the level 7 items. The tier 5 items are like on a mad one. But yeah, what was the word? Oh yeah, Blood Fangs on Huskar. There's some people who are just like, oh, Blood Fangs on Huskar is auto win. It's like,
sure, man.
Yeah, is it though?
that's all I'll be saying to that. It's like, yeah, all right, bro, calm down. AA, they're getting on top.
50-50 again. Oh, no one loses it for a second time. This time to an Arcane Rune. Meanwhile, yeah, as you say, Happy and Zayats both taking a fall. A death of Icy Heroes in the top lane as both the Ancient Apparition and the Winter Wyvern fall. And Resolution Plantamos just like, okay, well, guess we don't have any sports anymore. Let's keep farming. How are they doing in CS?
Did no one lose the 50-50 again? Oh,
he did.
God,
he did. That's what we were watching.
What a useless bottle. Noob no one, buy bottle. Never get charge.
Yeah, didn't even go for the bounties, did he?
No, oh god, no. It's a bit too far. In this matchup mid, like if you dip out for bounty runes, like both heroes push out the lane so quickly, it's just not advised to dip that far. Like he's even like hoping that they maybe left it, but now he's rotating bottom, trying to set up on these double level 4 offlane duo. But the TB
looking at it, he's thinking about it, but Bignum's already seen him, and no one's like, well, that's pretty awkward. Runs himself away.
No. Missing a wave mid. Luckily kind of cleaned up by the Wyvern, but yeah, an unfortunate rotation from the Pangolier.
Indeed, indeed. Well, no one, he's having a rough time so far. No runes, no ganks, no love. But he'll, you know, not a huge amount of pressure just yet. I'm worried about the Storm, though, as he continues to farm up. He's even found himself a shovel. Gonna grab some TPs with that one, as if he needed more. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, looking at Solo. I don't know how aggressively they're looking at Solo, though. They have got the glimpse, but with no one TPing in. Okay, this should be a kill. Disruptor in some trouble. The heal's not going to do much as right clicks and a Purifying Flames gets themselves a kill. Meanwhile, they look over towards the Mars, but I don't really think this guy's going down. Although no one is...
he missed the rebuke.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that in some time.
Pretty hard one to miss, but there you go.
Pangolier is literally underneath him. He's like rebuked over him. Like, he's hugging him with his shield. That's what happened. Happens. Resolution though, he's not having as easy of a start to the game he had in the last one. I think the main difference is Cyber Legacy actually pulled their lane and reset it a couple times, which means you can't just freely farm in front of your Radiant tower. And Solo getting drop bottom.
Oh dear. Down goes the Oracle. So I was looking into this mysterious lagging issue that's been going on.
Oh no!
Apologies for that one. Yeah, I know.
No, it's fine. I picked up on that. I attempted to do some words.
Some words. Thank you.
No, that's right. No, I got you. Do not fear, pal.
Meanwhile, Happy just being frosted up under the tower. Plantamos, he's pretty happy. 44 and 11 so far on him, compared to the Mars's 44 and 9. So yeah, they're chilling. The Mars's, sorry, the Slardars, 28 and 7. Yeah, so Resolution Re not getting much of a look in this lane. I did say the big difference should come in the offlaners here, and when you look at that, Resolution is having a much worse time than Chappie.
It's just, hold on, as they go into bot lane.
Solo Bignum is actually surviving for now, but Solo able to finish the job. Now they look over towards Chappie as well. Chappie being chased down, Purifying Flame, Swashbuckle, puts him
Resolution on top lane as well, getting jumped in.
He's losing his health, he's losing his life, and the right clicks will be enough. Happy to with the chilling touch, finish the job, and get themselves up a kill at top as well. So, kills across the map, mostly going the way of... Virtus.pro, I would say, is able to clean up 2 big kills in the bottom lane, and not quite so valuable on the Slardar with no CS up at top.
I think the main thing to note here is the moves made from VP are while the TB's hitting up the jungle and farming, whilst the Lifestealer, he's having to play into the lane, into support. So you might see TB start moving ahead in XP if this type of aggression continues.
That was cute. Actually, oh my god, the damage onto the Disruptor. Getting some lovely Javelin procs there. And now in comes a Storm, going for the long jump, but doesn't land it. Okay, we'll throw down a question mark there, but...
Pangolier did have the Wand and Swashbuckle, so even if he connected the initial zip, it probably wouldn't have turned into a full kill. So
yeah, I think he was looking for Solo, but they also had the False Promise, so seems unlikely.
Exactly, yeah. A wild one, to say the least.
Indeed.
But no, now we see the game's going to calm down again a little bit, I think. You wait for this TB to get at least Manta or Yasha BKB, one of those two like combos, and then you play. Resolution though, jumped again top lane. Luckily this time having the curse.
Yeah, that throws down the ultimate. Not the ideal usage of it, but, you know, saving the Slardar, definitely going to feel ideal enough, and he will live through the Ice Blast as well.
Yeah, they're not really actually pressuring this lifesteal anyway. I think this AA, such a strong, again, underrated position 5. The amount of damage that it kind of brings to a lane if you can connect on the gold feet. And when you have Wyvern, Slardar, both these heroes, they're kind of clunky in terms of once they go in, they can't really get out. And a level 1 sprint, it's not enough for you, especially if you're
they're looking for Kuma. They might have found him in the jungle here. Bignum, he's going to drop the ultimate to keep him controlled to stop the Sunder, but they have the damage in time. They do. They get him. Cyber Legacy's finding a kill in the jungle, absolutely. And now, well, they might even be finding the +1 of the backlines here as they're going to get the glimpse off. He pops the ultimate and goes for the TP out, and they just completely give up. They know that Solo's made it out, and they will see him later.
and that is the benefit of having the Storm Spirit and Disruptor. One of the combos that you have there is the Storm can zip in for the vision. You can then potentially get a glimpse onto the TB. Also, so never having to truly commit with the Storm Spirit. But this time it was as simple, just Storm zip into Static Storm, and yeah, just why TB is a weaker
engagement up at top now as Happy's being jumped on by no one, and he will have the damage to bring him down, but the return kill comes in quickly onto Zayats, but now they look over towards the life dealer, the big boy. Resolution trying to control him up and just nicely saving the bash of the deep to chain them beautifully to get the kill onto that life stealer. Bignum turns up, tries to do something, can't do anything though. He's too late to the party, and two heroes going to get dropped in the top for Cyber Legacy, and they look towards getting some pressure on this tower as well. Solo and No One both joining this party. They've already lost their bottom tower in response, so they do have to take this tier 1, but there shouldn't be anything to stop them. Bignum's making his way over. Pikachu, he's got the Invis rune, and they've got a life stealer in 7 seconds. Maybe Cyber Legacy do want to defend this one.
Yeah, they actually have no way of locating the Storm Spirit.
Here we go. They're going to jump forwards, looking for the Oracle. He does manage to quickly get off the Fate's Edict in time, saving himself from a ton of the damage, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to save him. The right clicks come through, and the damage is there in the end to finish off Solo. Meanwhile, Resolution goes down at the same time, so Cyber Legacy, they strike back. They keep their tower alive. The scan didn't connect.
Don't want to left, don't want to left, don't want to left. No!
He's got no TP, 2 seconds, and they're just gonna jump on top of him. Oh, he had no idea. How could he have known? It's so unfair, but this will be a death for No One as Pikachu zips him down, gets a kill, and yeah, the all chat lines come out as well. I know.
Seconds away from not being caught.
This man is having the unluckiest game of his life so far. He's just losing every 50-50. Unfortunately, walks into that scam there as well, and all things considered, it is just not coming up Millhouse for No One so far.
No, yeah, I think the best thing though about this game so far is just the mirroring rotations of Pangolier and Storm Spirit. Both these players identifying that they're the ones that need to move to the side lanes to enable the rest of the team. If they were just to push out their lane and farm jungle, you'd see a very slow decay of side lanes. It's kind of like this farm, and it wouldn't turn into anything kind of beneficial. So I think really good moves right now from Pangolier and Storm.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Winter Wyvern also just sitting bottom. It's such a beautiful thing, you know. You pick a Wyvern, he just exists within the game. TB wants to farm jungle, Wyvern wants to sit in a lane. They just marry so well together. And he's now rushing the Orchid, which, depending on the build from Storm Spirit, could be a very strong enabling factor for Radiant. We spoke about the lack of lockdown they have. You pick up an early Orchid, Storm gets forced into maybe a Yules or a BKB. It's going to be a very good item this game for sure.
Meanwhile, Happy going insane on the D wards here, just taking back this bottom side of their map.
Resolution just slapping up the enemy jungle.
As they go for the glimpse, they go for the arena, and with the spear chaining nicely. Is it going to be enough to bring down the fish though? Not quite sure. Ice Blast coming through though, and Happy will take it. Continues on his Z. Well, No One though, jumping in the back here. He's trying to find himself a cheeky one, but Bignum's going to drop the ultimate, trying to keep him still and stop him getting off the Rolling Thunder. Now going for it, but the spear's going to interrupt as well. Chappie, can they finish the job? I don't think they have enough damage. Turning around with a swashbuckle. Can he finally get it off? No, they're not letting him. They will not let this man roll. Oh, No One dying again, but Zayas jumping in, getting the return kill onto Chappie. Now, well, Zayas could be in some danger in itself if they can keep on the chase here. With Kuman coming over, they realize they actually need to get themselves out, but a nice Static Storm controls up Kuman. I gotta say, that was beautiful, just completely destroying No One. He could not get off his Rolling Thunder. Interrupted, what, 4, 5 times in a row? Very, very nice.
That was disgusting. You wanna lead? No. You wanna lead? No. You wanna? Nah, gotcha.
Again, No One just getting wrecked every single available opportunity of this game. It's really turning out to be an absolute shit show for him.
It's not on his side. Not on his side.
No. Like Rune's not on his side. TeaGuvnor on his side.
Solo v the world. No, No One v the world. No, whatever. VP v the world. There we go. Damn.
Still, the middle tier 2 tower is now being threatened, but how much is this really gonna do? Well, they're actually jumping into this one, but Virtus.pro, they were ready for it, and they're looking for the setup. But meanwhile, in the backlines, Slada tried to make something happen, but might have just thrown his life away for nothing. Well, they're gonna be able to get Chappie as a return kill, but he's moving around. He plays him. No One. He's sick of him, though. Throws down the swashbuckle, but now he's gonna give his life for this one, as they've got him controlled up. Although a nice ulti comes out from the Oracle, trying to keep him alive, but now they need to get those heals coming in thick and fast. Is it going to be enough? I think it should be. Yeah, it is just about. And they get the tower in the process as well, so no one finally gets away with a cheeky play. Bignum's running forwards, though. He's looking for the glimpse, and he is going to find one and immediately dropping the ultimate down onto the Terrorblade as well, but I'm not sure where the follow-up hits here. Is he's just going to straight up die to the right clicks. And now Winter's Curse coming down into the Storm Spirit as well. No one's making his way over. They don't have any interrupts for the leap, so he will be able to get himself away, or will he? No one continues chasing here, but he doesn't have much more in the chamber to keep on chasing Pikachu. So Pikachu makes it up to the high ground, and I think that's going to put an end to this big do-si-do barn dance in the middle lane. And I've got to say, it goes Virtus.pro's favor in the end.
Yeah, in the end, I think it just shows how these fights are a little bit hard for VP in terms of the Slardar can't be as obnoxious as he normally is, because once he dives, he gets instantly A-blasted, he's out of the fight. So then you're relying on Pangolier. As let's see again, Rezo just running around.
Yeah, he's trying to make some plays.
Oh, he doesn't get hit by the ult though. He's still gonna die. Of course, 1v3 doesn't win.
No, not often. Not on a hero like Slardar. No escape mechanism, so he's out of there.
So nice of Rezo though. He's just showing my point. He's just running around so deep by himself. He is allowing for Pangolier and Terrorblade to get to that next item. Pangolier needs that Diffusal Blade. Terrorblade needs that BKB. So he is forcing moves away from the Radiant side, which we say so many times in these games. The issue is, it gets to a point where it becomes cool you making space and allowing these two heroes to get to the next item, but you also need your own items. So calm down, bro. And now, as you see, Storm Spirit smoked up with Lifesteal inside of him. Such a fundamental part of their draft. Looking for this Terrorblade or the Pangolier. Boom, playing off the ward. Goodbye, Pangolier.
And boop. Yeah, they get him. Close.
Nearly had a yikes moment there, but no. This is what this Cyber Legacy draft is meant to do. They play off that one infest, and now they own this jungle. This ward will probably get dewarded eventually, but continued aggression now.
One thing I wanted to point out as well is that because of all of the sacrifice that this Slardar's been making, it's really freed up Zayat's game to try and go for this Orchid. So he's kind of becoming the 3 in a way, which is something we've seen a lot of teams doing, you know, trading up between the 4 and the 3. I mean, Secret are a great example. Sometimes Yapzor will take over Zion in the more kind of 3 role. I think any good team will be able to do that, and Virtus.pro definitely proven themselves to be exactly that.
But I think in this game, we don't need to see it to this degree. I need the Slardar. I have such investment in this game. I would like to see the Slardar get that pipe, get that blink, and then you can frontline. You can jump in their face, because if they try and throw everything on you, you're going to be tanky enough to survive. The issue is right now, he got 6 deaths. He's not even completed his pipe yet. 20 minutes in, like he is becoming this position 4 at this point, and sure that could be fine if your Wyvern has items as well, but he also doesn't even have the Orchid yet. So you're offsetting both of these heroes' farm.
Yeah, it's a really close game so far. I wouldn't be able to tell you who's going to come out on top. I think if Virtus.pro can play a little bit tighter, then it should look good for them. But at the same time, Palantimos is really scary, and I love this Heaven's Halberd pick on him as well. I mean, I've always loved Heaven's Halberd as an item. I think it's always been a little bit underrated.
Well, it's especially a good item because it gives you disarm, it gives you additional heal and lifesteal amp. Obviously, a lifestealer that is perfect with your feast open wounds.
In the name.
Yeah, and then you get the mischance as well, the evasion that you stack into your level 20 talent. So overall, it is a very good item. The issue is it doesn't provide you damage. It gives you 20 strength, of course, a little bit, but like it doesn't give you a lot. And if you need that Maelstrom, you need that Abyssal Blade to then kind of get you over that damage issue.
Yeah, that's when he really becomes a hero. Just want to point out as well that Lifesteal Amp is Lifesteal, not Lifestealer Amp. It doesn't just buff the hero by 30% all round. Just wanted to make that clear for everybody. Might be confused.
Lifestealer Chungus. He just grows 30% in size for every Sanj. Oh, that'd be so majestic.
Yeah, no actual upgrades, just cosmetic. Where he just keeps on getting chunkier.
Yeah, exactly.
Be nice. Like, do you ever have big-headed mode in Unreal Tournament or anything like that, where every kill you got, your head would get bigger and bigger? I love that. That should be a thing in Dota.
Ogre with one big head, one little head. Nice D-ward coming up from solo in the mid lane, but also potentially just dying for it.
Cyber Legacy, they are so scared. Look at these. Okay, they're kind of like, well, maybe no one else is here. Maybe we can go for this kill. And the spear comes out. Do they get him the duration? They do. So no false promise or any shenanigans coming out for Solo. They will sink him.
Well, it wasn't. Oh, Storm's zipping onto the Wyvern bottom though with the bomb.
He's got a baby inside of him, but has he got the interrupting season? Come on. There we go. Woo. Finally gets it off, and down goes Zayats. But yeah, they're definitely making us sweat for that one.
That was pure anger. It's like, you see him just vortex him.
Use your spells. Meanwhile, there's a bit of okay. Oh, no one. Oh, what the hell is he doing? Why did he jump over that cliff? He could have. Anyway, Resolution's the one being targeted down right now, but he's going to make it up to the high ground and get himself to safety. And happy might actually be cut off by this illusion. He will. Oh dear.
Oh, nice.
Kuman gets him. Corrosive Haze plus illusion. That's all you need. He knew all along. No one. He was like, I don't need to finish this kill off with Rolling Thunder. My boy's got it. Kuman's going to grab this one.
And now we're going to see the
plan.
Absolute power and strength of a Slardar plus any
Girth.
Physical damage core.
Oh,
Girth.
Yeah. The physical damage core. Terrorblade is going to be inserting himself into this game right now, but first he must insert himself into the Roshan pit.
Thrusting his presence upon the Dire team.
Absolutely, and down he goes, Aegis in hand.
The lines have been
BKB
drawn.
in the other. Yeah, this is a very straightforward game plan, but Virtus.pro, after that kill, they're feeling very, very good about themselves and feel very confident in their ability. And this is interesting because, you know, it's not like Cyber Legacy have been failing to do anything here. It's not like they've kind of positioned themselves into this slot by, like, last game when they just didn't really do anything. They've been making plays, they've been making ganks, they've been using their heroes correctly, but I feel like Virtus.pro have just been managing to eke out a little bit more value across the map here. And I think that's been the deciding factor, so we'll see how much Virtus.pro are able to do with his Aegis. Part of me thinks it's going to be one of these Aegises which, you know, are kind of just used to stabilize the game, keep it going, put Cyber Legacy off from making too many plays, because every kind of few minutes... Ooh, yeah, they find themselves a disruptor. All right, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. They'll take it.
Yeah, I think so. It's the Aegis usage will always lead to objective moves. I think the main... The issue I want to raise before that, whilst you're talking, was as they made that smoke coming in, Solo was walking in front. They could have maybe picked off the Lifestealer, but Solo was the one breaking the smoke onto the Lifestealer. If it was the Pangolier or the Orchid on the Wyvern, it would have probably net a kill on Lifestealer, which would have instantly led to an aggressive move. So the small misplays, I think, coming out there, overall, not really the biggest of concerns, but again, leading into another smoke, trying to utilize this Aegis, trying to actually make moves close to towers to lead into a true advantage. They're still 3k behind, but 3k is obviously nothing. They want to turn this into like a 10k lead where they can choke out their opponent.
Yeah. Both teams really grappling for the upper hand in this game so far, as it's no one really on top, and that is not the player. That is the lack of anyone being on top.
Well, the main concern here is if you look at the minimap for a second and look at the vision, Dire have a very defensive amount of vision, even though they're the team that has that aggressive jump. Radiant has really defensive vision, even though they're the ones wanting to make the plays. And if you select Oracle right now, he has no wards or sentries on him. He has no ability to move forward with vision. So any play that VP has to make has to be off of a really good calculated play, where they maybe use TB illusions for vision or Slardar running in first. So it's very scary.
There is one ward they have which is quite deep, which I really like. They just smoked up to place it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they got one ward to play off. But the issue is in these critical game-deciding fights, in terms of if you can win this next fight, you're close enough to take maybe a Rax or a tier 3. You want to have that instant high ground vision for that fight. You can't play into fog. So it's if they can smoke into this area, sure, it's cute, but you have one more to play off with no high ground vision. It's still very scary. Even though VP have the Aegis, these fights could be very back and forth, and maybe Cyber Legacy favored.
I agree, but still, they're trying to make it happen here. Oh, the smoke up, but Storm pops all but one with that zip forwards, clearing out those creeps. But Kuman doesn't care. He's just going to go and hit the tower a bit. And
Chappie's pushed in bot lane. Top lane's already by the tower, so it doesn't really matter. I think right now VP have been a little bit slow, a little bit clunkier with their moves, and again, it boils down to the lack of vision being able to be played into these areas. I'd like to see them push in bot, play at this tier 1, try and push into this ward, but right now they're focusing themselves very much on mid lane.
Only 2 Well, actually,
Radiant's bottom tower
coming
is
up
under
on
attack.
1 minute left on this Aegis. 1 minute 20, apparently.
Ooh.
Sneaky Manta dodge from Kuman. Playing around. Storm also playing around. Both teams
Recruit wave's gone
really
again.
feeling each other out here. You know, this is the style of the boxing match where they're taking jabs, taking punches, seeing if there's an overreaction or a misstep. But so far, both teams playing it tight. But Chappie now initiating. He's going for the Terrorblade on the front line. But meanwhile, the real jump is on the back as Storm tries to find it. But it's not really happening right now. And now Kuman's able to get off the Sunder, turn around, face Chappie. Chappie, though, moonwalking himself to safety. Meanwhile, Storm coming in. He's so low and will have to get himself out. Jumping all the way back up to his own high ground with that BKB. He should be able to survive this one, but Happy will not. Kuman finds one. And Parimatch, he's in a really awkward situation right now. He needs to run, but Resolution is chasing no one as well. Both trying to close down the gap. And they've got the slow. They've got the Suns, they've got the Stomp. Bignum coming over, trying to help him, but he realizes there is no helping Parimatch anymore. The Lifestealer will fall. Virtus.pro get the big kill they wanted, and a really kind of awkward engagement from Cyber Legacy completely ruined. But they're going to drop the ultimate down onto the Terrorblade, but they've got 2 heals behind him. I'm not sure what the point of this is. They're just going to jump Bignum now. Bignum going to drop, and Stormfire can't do anything because he's disarmed up. So Virtus.pro find themselves another big kill, and now they're on the high ground. They're pushing down hard.
They got one range creep. They got one range creep now.
Keep them alive, boys. Well, Storm will take it. Was that going to be enough to keep the melee barracks, though? They don't have a fortify. Backdoor protection, where are you? Please, backdoor protection, we're begging. Is it going to come in time? Oh, the disarm. Not sure on that one, Chief. Yeah, Kuman gets rid of that quickly. Has to Manta off his own teammates' disarm, but they are able to get through the melee barracks before the backdoor kicks in. And Virtus.pro bleed a Rax.
Yeah, I think that fight, it shows how, even though Cyber Legacy has the answers to VP in terms of they have the AA to deal with that sustain, they've got Storm to catch the backlines, it's so difficult where the Storm zipped in initially and he was unable to actually locate the correct support. I think if you jump the Oracle, it's so easy for a curse to come out, especially when the Lifestealer pops out. Like you ult the Storm, you curse the Storm, Lifestealer rages away. It's like you've already got 2 hard, like big cores running around, not killing anything. And at that point, the TB of Aegis does everything he wants. So I think it was obviously Storm executing how he should have, but going on the wrong support, and then the TB being able to freely hit. So
yeah, and it gets very awkward when you throw your Mars on the front lines like that, like just dropping down the arena, and the Spears try and control the TB whilst
especially on the Aegis TB. Like you have to use that ultimate because of course it blocks projectiles when it's placed. So if you're able to get this double jump, you've got Blink Dagger on Mars as well. If you can fully get yourself onto this backline and then the TB can't do anything into the fight, he's gonna have to use BKB to get through the wall, and then after BKB, now it's like, it's a TB without BKB. We've got all these spells, but unfortunately, just a couple misplays.
They see him, they go, they're looking for the Oracle. This is a great target to bring down if they can do it quickly, but Resolution comes in with a 3-man crush. He keeps Solo alive, and now the ultimate comes down onto the 2 of them, but unfortunately, no one. And Kuman are just doing what they want on the sidelines of this fight, and they are going to drop Bignum and Happy, but Resolution going to die quickly in response. The curse comes down, just annihilating Pikachu right now. Can they finish him off? Yes, they can. Meanwhile, Chappie trying to stay on the front lines here, but out their Storm, and with their Lifestealer being controlled up in the backlines, it's looking like this is another lost fight for Cyber Legacy. They will be able to TP out on their Lifestealer, but Chappie not quite so lucky. They're going to lose 3 Cyber Legacy. They looked for the jump. They made the right play, but unfortunately Resolution was there in time. And it was a really awkward jump from Cyber Legacy as well, just taking too long to throw down that vision, taking too long to try and finish off that kill. Kuman had actually spotted them before they immediately jumped the Oracle, giving Virtus.pro those extra precious seconds they needed to get into position to save the Oracle and turn the fight. And now Parimatch, he's just bravely trying to defend this high ground by himself here. He has got that rage, which he will have to throw out. Turns around, starts fighting. Terribly. He does some trouble. He's going to drop. Oh dear. The Storm buyback.
He beat at the very end.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, that is making it even more costly. But meanwhile, Solo, he's being hammered down as well. That's going to make it 2. Meanwhile, Zayas is just chilling. Not sure about this one, Chief. Yep. Yep. Frozen up and dead. See you later, buddy. He was shadow amuleted there. I'm not sure if he had any other way out of that fight. I'm assuming not.
No, he's a dead man for sure.
Yeah. Well, all right. It does cost them a buyback on their Storm, but they do manage to take a fight and get 3 kills.
Like, this entire game for VP is so simple in terms of anyone that gets jumped on their team, they have a way to save the next guy, right? You're gonna have Pangolier with Disarm with the Rolling Thunder, Solada with the Pipe or the Blink Stun, Oracle save, Wyvern save, like all of them, and then TB also has Sunder. It's so hard to kill any of these heroes, but if you run wildly from one fight into the tier 3s and don't pop your BKB due to a pick-off by a Storm Zip, you're gonna die. And I don't think it changes too much in the game overall, because I still feel like Cyber Legacy, if they can get the correct jump in which they lock down both supports and the Storm Lifestealer can kill them straight away, then they can win the fight. But I think it's right now, the way that VP is moving around the map and playing, I think it's very hard for Cyber Legacy to actually get this perfect initiation off. And if you mess up the initiation once, like here, it's so easy for no one just to run in and not care. Like, how do they stop this guy from running around, rolling thunder?
Kuman's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take that kill from the high ground. No problems. Thank you very much.
Roshan's up. Look, AA dies, running in. Like, this is like this move from Cyber Legacy. It's like you're not ahead in this game, even though the network's close and the kills are close. You're not ahead. You can't run like this. Like, you have to have Roshan is the key factor in this game. If you give away Roshan, it's so hard. It's like probably like 85% chance VP wins the game based off of a Roshan, right? On this checklist. It's like 70%, but still. Maybe it tips up because of Roshan.
Yeah, it probably will do now. I think it will get to about 70, 75.
It's like, you shouldn't be playing for towers at this point for Cyber Legacy. It's all about playing for what's the next win condition for VP. And right now it's the group up with Aegis. So I think a slight miscall coming out from Cyber Legacy and making the game a little bit harder than it needs to be. Well, they made other mistakes as well, but this is icing on the cake.
Yeah. It's crazy how much Virtus.pro capitalizes, but they realize how big this Ancient Apparition is. When you're running Oracle, Wyvern, even to an extent Terrorblade as well, you really, really don't want to be fighting into this Ice Blast. But once it's gone, the fights just seem so open and so easy for you. That all that's going to stop you from keeping your cores alive is a backline Static Storm from Big Nim. And how likely is that to happen? Not very. Look at Chappie. Man with a plan.
Hit me.
I'll take these right clicks. Does it work on towers, Bulwark?
Yeah.
Seems to be.
All incoming projectiles near him. You can see how Solo is just pumping in the purifying flames onto the TB, making sure he's got like a busted amount of heal as he hits this tower.
Yeah. Chappie doing his best as Pangolier jumps to the front lines here, forced to pop the BKB to stop himself getting frozen up. Meanwhile, Plantimos, he's fighting into the Slada, but meanwhile, Terrorblade, he's focusing on the tower and he's able to take it down, and now he looks towards the racks as well. They've got to do something about this, but no one just comes wrapping around the backlines, and once again, another Winter's Curse, just neutralizing the Storm's ability to jump the backlines, completely shutting out his BKB, and now Plantimos, well, he's going to get sundered up and brought down, and they're going to get him in time. He's silenced, he needs to pop something here, but he's got nothing to do but die. Kuman, though, being controlled up, he can't get off his thunder, and he will not be able to, but that's only his Aegis got, and with no buyback on the Lifestealer, this could be a real opportunity for Virtus.pro to even take the whole damn game. Pangolier throws on the front here, Chappie trying to control him up as best he can. 33 seconds till your Ancient Apparition is back in the game. Meanwhile, Storm's just trying to heal up in base. He's got to do so much work here with his Aghanims, but that is such a big ask without his Lifestealer buddy to actually secure the big hitting DPS to help him control up these fights, and Virtus.pro are going to take another one, and it looks like they are going to move their way up to top. They are not done, but in comes the Storm, just trying to make time, trying to make this take as long as physically possible, and even committing a little bit onto Solo here, but Mars is indeed, he's actually got to take this fight. Meanwhile, Pikachu's still trying to focus up the support with the cast onto Oracle, keeping him alive. The Cold Embrace saves him. Meanwhile, the Mars does have buyback, but he is gonna die to no one. Can come back into this fight if he really, really wants to, and I think he probably doesn't have much of a choice. Meanwhile, Kuman just going to swap health with his eyes. Oh no! They managed to actually get Disrupt out of position this time as well. The BKB pop from no one to make sure they can finish off his kill to Bigna, but they will find the Oracle in the backlines at the very least. Now no one with the double magic immunity bouncing around on the back here, playing bowling. Meanwhile, Kuman has realized that this one's probably over, getting himself out, so Virtus.pro will not be able to break the base any further than this. They will not get the Megas, but still, they find themselves a huge step forward in this game and getting another lane of barracks, taking the Lifestealer's life, and generally just, yeah, it's looking bad from here on out. One more Aegis, and Virtus.pro should have this. What's that?
The Lifestealer would have survived, but he died because of as they jumped him and the Mars ult went down initially, he went to infest in the Storm Spirit, which would have saved him, right?
Right.
But the Storm Spirit zipped, cancelling the infest animation, and then it just killed him because he got orchided from the Wyvern.
Yeah, the Orchid and Mindbreaker Wyverns. I had to time that one beautifully because I noticed the Orchid buff about to run out, and then he just gets hit again. I'm like, boom. What's that second? It's Mindbreaker. Jesus.
Yeah, it was so unfortunate. Like, it could have potentially been actually a good fight for Cyber Legacy. If the Lifestealer survived, then they've done the full reset again and then play into them with a second kind of life on the Lifestealer, obviously regenning up. So, yeah, very unfortunate that was to happen.
And the Pangolier just scaring away Pikachu, and it actually looks like they're not even waiting for an Aegis here. Virtus.pro are gathering for the death push up at top. They want to put an end to this game, I think.
Yeah, well, there's nothing. VP doesn't have to do anything else, right? The game is very simple for them. Go move to an objective, play at the objective, and even if we get jumped, as long as we're not 5-man getting Ag's Vortex from the Storm Spirit, we should be winning the fight. So, like, look at this TB. Look how swole he is, man. Like MKB, Manta, Butterfly, BKB, Scardy. This guy is not gonna die.
He has been.
Look at the Lifestealer's items. Where's your damage on Lifestealer right now? And this is the issue with the Halberd build, right? Like you've got Maelstrom, obviously farming item, AC short helps, but you don't have that big Deso, you don't have any of that big chunkier items to really eat through some of these heroes.
Cyber Legacy decide that if they're going to take the game deciding fight, then they want it to be on their terms. And they're looking for something, and they're going to find something. This is a Slardar, not a bad catch here. If they can get this kill, it's going to delay Virtus.pro death push for quite a while, and they will find it.
The line has been drawn, they're looking. They're not going to find anything though, because obviously there's a ward there, and these heroes should just be able to simply TP away.
Yeah, the moment this guy gets caught, they should be gone. And Pikachu's actually stopping for the outpost. Interesting.
I was so ready for the prediction play. I was so ready for him to zip over and just be like, all right, who's here? But just going for the outpost instead. No, I like the move from Cyber Legacy. They're showing that even though they're 2 racks down and in a very difficult spot, they're still willing to make that smoke and look for the pickoffs. The real question is, should VP just be grouped up as 5 right now? Should they even be hitting some neutrals when they can very easily go and secure that last lane of racks? Well, they're still trying to make moves, even though Slardar is dead. They have the bottom outpost. So
should be back soon enough. Resolution was farming away from the pack there just to ensure that he gets his BKB for the next fight. Unfortunately, that death is going to set him back a little bit. Might not make a big difference to the state of the game, but to be honest, just delaying this death push is
it won't do anything in reality.
Oh no, Parimatch. What is you doing, friend? What is you doing? He's been Winter's Curse. Bignum trying to make something happen, but there is nothing to make happen here. The Lifestealer is dead, does have buyback, but I mean, what for? Chappy? What?
One by one they fall.
No, this is just like my pubs. Radley. Oh, Chappy trying to walk himself away with the arena. But Resolution's on top, and Resolution will get the kill. That's going to be a second one. And Mars does not have buyback. Oh no, 4 minutes still. This isn't how it was supposed to end, TeaGuv.
No, it was meant to be a bish bash and bosh, you know, a nice little scuffle. A
5-man
of the high ground.
You know, a final push, a heroic push
I could hear you shout a couple more times.
Yeah, march up to the high ground.
Yeah.
But well, looks like it's going to be a... I mean, there's still hope, right? Let's not get too pessimistic here, but...
No,
nothing to be done.
If I 90% chance, like 99% chance this is over. Like, how do you fight? Mars is 92% one of your big team fights. Okay. No.
They're looking at the sidelines here. Parimatch jumping to the front, immediately stunned up though, but they control up the Disruptor. It might actually be Cyber Legacy that fought this wraparound. Parimatch still trying to control up no one. They will get the kill onto Bignum though, so Cyber Legacy, it's not looking like a good wraparound for them, as they've lost 2 already, and there's your GGs coming out. It's over. The game will go to Virtus.pro, and with it, the series. This one taking a little bit longer and looking very even for a long time, but in the end, it is Virtus.pro that take the victory, and a well-deserved one at that as well. It was clean, it was surgical. They just had the better read on the game, the more efficient team in this series, I would say. They're just, every move they made just seemed to yield so much bigger profits compared to what Cyber Legacy were doing in this one.
Yeah, I think this is a good prime example of how one draft can have a lot more room for leniency and errors, whilst the other draft has to be like surgically executed. Cyber Legacy, if on paper you look at this draft, like, wow, they got so many counters to this Radiant draft. They got the AA, they got the Storm Bomb, they got so much cheaper from Mars. Like, sure, it's good on paper, but executing that, you always have to make sure that you jump the right target. like if you jump the wrong target once in a team fight, you're going to lose that team fight because there's so much sustain from VP. And then I think the most critical thing that we've kind of undersold during this game is Roshan. Cyber Legacy at no point contested Roshan, and this is the timing. This is the win condition or a big power spike for VP. The classic TB Roshan, even Slardar Roshan, into then a move. 2 Roshans in a row. Cyber Legacy did nothing. If anything, they got picked off prior to the Roshan, and thus enabling it to be freely taken, which played into VP's kind of playbook on how to win this game. And yeah, not so good coming out from Cyber Legacy, dude.
No, not ideal. I mean, I like the way you can actually pinpoint in the player net worth graph the point where we should have seen Cyber Legacy be the most active, you know? And that point is around kind of the 26, 27-minute mark when they had their cores kind of coming up, and I think this was a point where they stood a chance of actually being able to take down Virtus.pro in a full 5-on-5 fight because their lifesteal and their storm together were probably stronger than the kind of Pango plus Terrorblade. And you got to look at the position 3s as well. There's a 2k net worth advantage between Resolution and Chappie there, which definitely could have helped swing things in their favor, but in the end they just weren't able to close it out. They didn't find any good fights around that stage, and they just kind of gave Virtus.pro the space they needed, and then Virtus.pro just find these support pickoffs. Honestly, it's really easy. Just support pick off Roshan, and Cyber Legacy, they never seem to have buyback on their supports, they never seem to be positioned to contest Roshan's. They didn't really have the ability to kind of poke at Rosh and just stop VP doing it, and every single time, VP just walked themselves into Roshan, get themselves an Aegis from one pickoff. Meanwhile, Cyber Legacy with their pickoffs, they didn't really do much with it. And that leads to a clean Virtus.pro victory. So, the first series, it's a quick one. First game, 25 minutes. Second game, 40 minutes, and it does go to Virtus.pro, taking it over Cyber Legacy, 2-0. So let's move on. Let's look towards brighter futures. Next up today, we are going to have Winstrike versus Team Spirit as a next best of 3. And that one's going to be coming up in about 15 minutes. Any first paper predictions for Winstrike versus Team Spirit?
Well, Winstrike picked up a new team recently, correct? They now the old Modus Unity.
Correct. So I don't know. At the same time, Team Spirit have lost against Virtus.pro, Hellraisers, Fours, and Flight of Moon so far.
I wasn't going to be saying, wow, this is Team Spirit's favorite. I think Team Spirit have unfortunately played very under par. They're normally, like, if you look at their players, they're like, all these players had moments of like shining during their time in the CIS region.
Yeah,
but collectively together, not so much. I think this series, it's going to be a close one because I think Modus Unity isn't, or Winstrike Story isn't one of the most high caliber of CIS teams. I think they're maybe within a couple months of play, they might kind of be able to pick up and have some more contest. But this is probably going to be a close series, but not as VP level of like, woo, you know, it's going to be just a big slug off, and I'm ready.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, it's interesting you say that about Team Spirit. You look through these players, you know, ILTW with his time on OG, of course. You know, he's had his time in the spotlight, and he's had some good performances with them, and then afterwards as well. Immersion had a great performance at ESL Birmingham under Gambit and Nongrata. He, of course, had his time in Flight of Moon during the Epicenter Major 2 years ago, where they made a really deep run into that major. So, yeah, I mean, all these guys have had their time in the spotlight, except maybe Ergon. But, yeah, they're really struggling to pull it out in this tournament. But we know they do have the skill. Maybe they can pull it out today. Maybe they've had that chalkboard session where they've gone,
turning
guys,
point.
This is what we're going to do. You know, let's stop being crap. Let's make some plays. Let's get some wins under our belt and have ourselves a good series. And that's what we hope is going to happen coming up. So, buckle your seatbelts in. Get yourself a break, grab yourself a snack, an unbranded snack of unknown contents because we're not sponsored, and chill out. And we'll see you in about 10-20 minutes or so for the next series, which will be Winstrike versus Team Spirit here at the Parimatch League Season 1. I've been Nomad, he's been TeaGuvnor, and we'll see you very shortly.